Hey, y'all. It's Dana. Had to look to the right for you. In his name outdoors. Hey, you can save me. You can save you. So, this video is going to be on something I used to do with the USDA for a while. I was a rabies biologist, so I dealt with rabies. Yeah, that was exciting. So I'll give you a little facts about rabies and stuff about raccoons. And what I'm doing is a nest egg predator trapping job. People hire me to come do this. I do it a different way than everyone else. It's very more intense. I'll go over that. Anybody's interested in nest egg predator trapping in central Alabama, I've got 3 more properties right after this one. But all right, so let's go over rabies. So rabies is a virus. It's a fatal virus. There is no cure for it. If you get rabies and you do not get your shots, you're going to probably die. Only 5 people, I believe 5 people, y'all can check those facts, have survived rabies once a full infection. So what is rabies? Rabies is a ribovirus. There are 5 variants of rabies. You have the raccoon variant, the skunk variant, the bat variant, the fox variant, and the canine variant. Canine variant's pretty much been eliminated from the United States. In Alabama, we have 2 variants: the bat and the raccoon. Out west, you got fox. Up north, I think you got skunk. But you have different variants. It's kind of like different variants of the COVID virus. You have COVID-19, COVID this. COVID's basically just the cold, but you have different variants. So that's a low-flying plane coming. What the heck? Let's see. Where'd he go? I hope I'm not in trouble. Might be in trouble. Well, they caught me. You've caught the tater. So that's from a comedian. All right, so you cannot get rabies from blood, feces, or urine. You get it from saliva or spinal column fluid, brain tissue. So raccoon is the raccoon variant. It carries it. Raccoon can have rabies and not shed it. So what happens is if the rabies variant replicates and gets into the central nervous system, it goes into the brain. That's when you get all these different symptoms, such as acting crazy, mad. I've captured raccoons in these cage traps with rabies. They acted perfectly calm. Just because it's acting calm doesn't mean it does not have rabies. But look, very, very seldom. I did this for a lot of years. So you cannot get it from blood, feces, or urine. You get it from saliva. You get it from the brain tissue. So the raccoon can carry it. And if someone else, it's an end disease. So if a raccoon that is shedding virus bites a fox is probably going to die in about 7 days. Horses can get it. There's nothing. So make sure that's the reason you want to get your animals vaccinated for rabies, even your horses. So I've heard of horses getting rabies and dying. So yes, you can get it. In Alabama, I was working with the ORV program, Oral Rabies Vaccination Program. It goes from Alabama all the way up into Canada, up the East Coast. And this is the reason I'm going to get into why you don't relocate animals. In Alabama, the raccoon variant is mainly on the east side of the east side of the Alabama Coosa River system. And I'm not going to get into this. It's a pretty good program. So if you catch an animal over, let's say, on the east side of the Alabama River system, and you transport that thing to the west side, you just transported virus. I'm not going to get into politics here, but look, COVID-19 got here because someone got on an airplane from China and landed somewhere in the United States. That's all a fact. That's all I'm going to say about this. I don't want anybody debating anything on that. So if I take this raccoon that could have rabies, because I'm on the side that has rabies, and moved it over to Tuscaloosa County, which is over near the Mississippi line, I might have moved that virus over. So people, if you have an animal, a raccoon, and you catch it, if you take that animal, move it. In Alabama, you cannot move a raccoon rabies variant across county lines or across major river systems. Well, heck, Alabama's got like number 2 or 3 in the most navigable waterways in the United States. But you could possibly move that virus, infecting a whole population with a virus. It might be distemper. It could be anything. So do not relocate animals. Also, if you take an animal and put it in a habitat, it doesn't know where food is, den sites, or anything, and they're territorial. they've done research on this, and there's a high percentage or high probability that they die. Because if I took you out of your house and shoved you in a spot you never knew nothing about and said live, it's going to be tough. And when it's over there fighting all those other boar coons or whatever, it could be putting a virus out there. So if you have an animal that you don't like, either learn to live with it or dispatch it if you catch it. Now what's going to happen? Another one's going to come in later. You know, that's just how it is. And if you get these companies that say they're moving them or they're going to move it for you, that's not good. And a lot of them don't. I just know they don't because I worked with them. They just go somewhere else and dispatch them. You just don't know it. So here's another thing. As I was working with DHR and DCNR, which is conservation and public health, and a raccoon was caught over in Baldwin County, and it was up in the, had a bunch of youngins, and those kits were given to 4 different people. Well, one of those kits was moved up to North Alabama. Well, that kit came down, got sick. Well, they tested it for rabies. It came back positive for rabies. So someone had already moved a raccoon from an area without rabies or with rabies to an area without. So if that raccoon got bigger and got out, it could infect. Well, 16 or 18 people had to get post-vaccine or rabies prophylaxis shots. And it's not 10 in the stomach. I think it's like 3 in the arm, but it's $1,600 to $2,400. So all these people got infected with rabies because someone wanted to raise a little raccoon kit, which is illegal in Alabama, unless you're a rehabber. And I know some rehabbers, they do a really good job. If you want to do that, it's up to y'all. So don't relocate, please don't. The other thing about saliva is everyone thinks raccoon washes their food because they don't have salivary glands. Well, that's how you get the rabies virus. They have salivary glands. What they're doing is called, I think, dousing. They have feet are very sensitive. Their paws are, so they like to feel things. They're in water feeling things. They're not washing their food. They're playing with rocks. They just like to touch things. So that's a little bit about raccoons and rabies. Please don't comment on this about why I got a coon in a trap. It's because I'm doing this for a property owner for nest egg predator trapping for his turkeys. All right. Well, I hope this informed you a little bit about rabies. I'll try to do another rabies video. All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. Rain's coming in. Got 2 soccer games tonight to referee. Wetumpka High School and Chilton County High School. I'll be up in Chilton County tonight running around. So if you're out there, be nice to me, please. Well, you don't have to. You can yell at me. I'll make mistakes. Like I tell everyone, I've been reffing since 1984, and I've never called a perfect game, and it ain't going to happen tonight. Hey, subscribe or follow if you'd like to. If you don't want to follow me, just come back every now and then. There'll be some other video on there. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Yep. Have a wonderful day. In His name outdoors. Appreciate it. Bye.